Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Precious and this is Precious Reads. Today I want to talk to you about a book that I just finished called High Mountain Court by Al A.K. Mulford. Now I have to say, I picked this book up thinking it was totally something else. I bamboozled myself. I literally bamboozled myself. I thought I was getting a ultra smutty fae cover to cover romance with a lot of smut, and I ended up getting 1.5 scenes of smut. Yeah, that's what happens when you don't read the synopsis and you just get recommendations of, a TikTok screenshot and you haven't really listened to what they have to say about it. Okay, so let's get into it. High Mountain Court by A.K. Mulford is a fantasy. It is a fantasy. Yeah, it's not a fantasy romance. The romance is there, but it's not really the main focus of the story. We meet Remini, who has been on the run for most of her life. She escaped the tragic death and murders of her parents when she was 6 years old and has been running and hiding ever since. And she was under the protection of a brown witch named Heather, who is a healing witch. In this world, there are red witches, brown witches, green witches, and blue witches. The red witches are able to manipulate objects and have sort of telekinesis. Brown witches are great at healing and finding and scrounging for things. Green witches prepare meals or can create concoctions that work well together, and blue witches can sort of foresee the future. Yeah, so red witches are under threat because the Northern Kingdom tried to kill and exterminate everything on High Mountain, and most red witches were situated in High Mountain Court. When the High Mountain Court fell, all the red witches scattered and hid and have now been hunted by fae. So most witches are afraid of fae. Remy works at taverns. She, does odd jobs here and there with her found family, which is Heather and Fenrin, who are both brown witches, and they just live paycheck to paycheck, sort of kind of in the wilderness in the ancient times in the taverns. And she serves a group of 4 fae. She thinks her cover is not blown because she's not using her magic, and she tries to escape them as soon as possible, but they capture her. Not capture her, but sort of tries to convince her to help them. One of these fae is the Eastern Prince named Hale. Hale wants her help in finding 3 artifacts that will be able to take down the Northern King and bring relief to not only the red witches but to the other 4 nations or 3 nations that have been under a lot of stress because of the Northern King. So they go on this adventure, but what you quickly realize is that Remy has a thing for Hale, and it manifests in different ways, like her questioning the other fae if they've been interested or been with him before. It's kind of crazy. And they go on this adventure to find these artifacts. And during these adventures, they get into weird situations. They also have to pretend to be together, fake dating, in one of these situations in a casino when they try to steal an artifact. I enjoyed this very, very much. I did think that the pacing was it wasn't that great. First of all, this book could have been shorter because we had these amazing moments of a lot of action, the chemistry between Hale and Remini, and it was amazing. Then we'd have these pages of just nothing, traveling, talking about stuff, finding out histories of people that I don't think that we needed to know their histories. I love Karis. I love their dynamic in the group, but I don't think we needed to know about Karis's family. I didn't think so. But in all, I did enjoy this, and the chemistry between Hale and Rem was amazing because they first started off as enemies. Obviously, Remy has a thing. She really despises fae because they've hunted and persecuted red witches. And so she doesn't immediately fall for the prince's charms, and this was very slow burn. You're not gonna get them falling for each other immediately, but you feel it. I loved how she put those emotions within the book. I As I said, I didn't like the pacing, but all in all, I did enjoy the book. The conclusion, the final 20 pages was so emotional. I cried my ass off, and I don't know if I'll continue with the series because there were so many times I wanted to put this book down because of the pacing. And I don't know. I want to know what happens to the rest of the characters, the remaining characters, and what happens to the artifacts. And do they actually change the user? So, yeah, that is my review for High Mountain Court. I absolutely loved it. I just yeah, I'm not sure if I'll continue reading the series. I rated this 3.5 stars on Goodreads, and yeah, if you're looking for a fae, slow burn, enemies to lovers, um, romance. It's not romance. I don't even think it's a romance. It is a fantasy with a romance in it. Um, yeah, I'm still not convinced. I'm still like not sure about it, but I did enjoy it. I cried. I cried. Oh, another trope, found families. If you love found families, hold on to your tissues.